Hello and welcome to another Review or Die podcast.
Yes, hello.
I'm Toby and as ever joined by Ryan.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about The Secret Life of Pets, the latest animation from Illumination Entertainment.
Yeah.
The company who brought us Despicable Me and Minions, of course.
Have they actually done anything else?
They have. They've done other works, yeah.
But they're not known for anything.
But mostly it's
Right,
Despicable
okay.
Me and Minions that they're famous for. And obviously there's a Minion short that actually precedes this film as well.
Yeah,
In the cinema. So the story concerns a small terrier named Max, and he happily lives with Katie, his owner, until his equilibrium is disrupted by the arrival of a stray dog called Duke, which then sends them on this majestic and somewhat strange and frenetic adventure in which they go from enemies to friends. And I think I enjoyed it more than you, Ryan.
Yeah, we're going to swap the usual roles for these podcasts.
I know, recently it's been me with problems and issues
I
with films.
I want to put out straight, right, that I'm not a big fan. I mean, you said they've done other things, like you can't think of them off the top of your head, what other things that Illumination have done?
I can't actually, no.
Well, the first Despicable Me film I thought was alright. I wasn't as into it as seemed everyone else was.
It's fantastic.
Despicable Me 2, I just didn't care for. It was just more of the same for me. And then Minions, the actual Minions film, I couldn't stand. So, and this I thought was okay, but once again, it's not. I think my main problem with it is that from the title and from this little short bits we saw about before it was released, and The Secret Life of Pets, I thought the whole film was going to be like the first, say, 10 minutes of the film, where you get to see the pets, the animals, what they do when the humans aren't around. So I thought it was going to be a bit different. Instead, it goes to the usual journey adventure sort of thing, which I thought must have been done before, and I just thought, well, another one.
I do see where you're coming from in that regard, but I think probably the reason why it did that, because from Minions, maybe the reason why you didn't like it is because it does have that sort of episodic, almost like a sketch show feel. You get loads of little sketches that are sort of put together with no real massive narrative.
Yes.
Whereas I think the start of The Secret Life of Pets is a little bit like that. It's little tiny sketches of small characters doing quite funny and quirky things, which it's fun. Like, adults and kids will find that funny, particularly adults. What will my dog do when I leave it, or what will my cat do when I'm off down the shop, sort of thing. But I think to have a full narrative structure, it has to break out of that shell a little bit, and I think that's why it probably does it. I know I can understand why you have problems with the narrative. I think it is a little bit all over the place, and it's very quick and fast paced, but for me, I think the kids will enjoy that. And I think when I went to see actually the children in the cinema, I was packed full of children actually.
It was.
They really enjoyed it. They found it funny, and they were laughing. And I think it does probably need that pace, especially in an age of technology where kids are on tablets or phones and arguably could have shorter attention spans. It does keep it going fresh and in a sort of vibrant way. So that's why I would counteract your argument there.
Yeah, I say it's okay. I mean, I enjoyed bits of it. Let's put it that way. There was a few bits that made me laugh. I did like, and I probably think that through the Despicable Me, the Minions film, and this one, it's probably my favourite out of those. But I just don't think it's anywhere near the sort of Disney classics or Pixar that guessing that's their competition that they're trying to.
I suppose so. It's not. It's a strange Illumination sort of created this own sort of niche for themselves, in which they're sort of all universal, all encompassing. That everyone seems to love them. I mean, obviously you can argue that Pixar do that the best with their blend of animation. Obviously, adults love the jokes, and kids get a great deal out of the adventure. I also just have to, I think, applaud it here and give credit to the animation style though. And whilst you say it's not up there with Pixar and Disney, I thought it made the city of New York really plush, beautiful. The characters were beautifully rendered. I actually thought that this is an animation which had such great style, which you can get. I remember back in the day of for example, Shark Tale or something like that, where the animation is very scruffy and rough, whereas this, it's just splendidly done.
Who did Shark Tale? Was that DreamWorks?
I think it's DreamWorks.
Yeah. I want to actually just say what I said. I wasn't talking about the animation when I said about it being subpar as into Disney Pixar. I was talking more about the story.
Generally as a film,
the animation is lovely. And my other point, again, these are kind of like little nitpicks that I do have of it, is that a lot of the promotional stuff was about Secret Life of Pets. It didn't like tell you that it was going to be about this one dog with another dog on this journey. So I was kind of misled a bit, like, because they was told that it's going to be like snakes and tarantulas and all these other exotic sort of pets, which are in the film, but they don't speak and they're not really having a kind. It's literally it's dogs and cats mainly, if you think about it.
It is, yeah.
So I think I was just expecting more. Maybe that's why I feel a bit let down, because I was expecting maybe too much from a kids' film, I suppose. But
it's funny actually when you say you're expecting more sort of variety with the plot. Actually, the first thing I said when the credits were rolling, I turned to who I was sat with and I said, "Oh, the story's exactly like Toy Story."
Really?
If you think about it, it is, isn't it? It's
I see
Max, Woody, the ever-loved, eternal...
and the newcomer who's loved now and feels pushed.
And then there's the conflict between them and they become friends.
That is a very good point.
It's actually almost a rehash of Toy Story, but for me it's done in a fun way, an enjoyable way. I think kids will really like it. I think some of the jokes do sort of get a little bit misfired. I think some of them like hit the mark really, really well, and others are a little bit either tame or don't go down too well. They do get missed. But overall, I think it's a really, really solid film and very enjoyable for a weekend trip to the cinema with your family, with your friends.
Yeah, I'd agree with that last bit, yeah. But if you're not a fan of Illumination's work like me, you might still prefer this one. But if you are a fan of Illumination, then you're probably definitely going to like this one, I would say.
Exactly, yeah. Tell us what you think, of course. Illumination's latest film, Secret Life of Pets, is out in cinema now. Your thoughts on this podcast and the film itself would be greatly appreciated.
As always, of course.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you next time.